Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try that again. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. It is my distinct pleasure to welcome you to the highly anticipated launch of Export Jamaica and the rebranding of the Trade Board Limited. I am Roshane Reed, and I am your Master of Ceremonies for today. I will now invite you to stand for the playing of Jamaica's national anthem. You may be seated. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as we set our sights on exponentially increasing exports, we have the distinct pleasure of hearing from our very own Trade Administrator and CEO of the Trade Board Limited, retired Major Dr. Hugh Blake, as he comes to bring us the official welcome and opening remarks. A round of applause, please, for Dr. Blake.
Thanks very much, Roshane. Senator, the Honorable Aubrey Neal, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Mrs. Sancia Bennett Templar, Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Latoya Reed Franklin, CTD, Mr. Danville Walker, I should say the Honorable Danville Walker, OJ, Chairman of the Board of Directors of the Trade Board, Ms. Shanique Edwards, Acting Manager of Export Jampro, Mr. Stephen Dawkins, VP, Committee Chair for Export and Logistics, Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, heads of agencies, other specially invited guests. I believe I saw Mr. Granville Reed, Small Business Association, Second Vice President, management and staff of the Trade Board Limited, and members of the media. Good morning. It is with immense satisfaction and excitement that I welcome you to this official launch of Export Jamaica. It's a groundbreaking global market intelligence and compliance gateway. As the CEO of the Trade Board, I stand before you today filled with pride and anticipation as we unveil this transformative tool that promises to revolutionize the landscape for potential and existing exporters. Allow me to extend a warm welcome on behalf of the entire Trade Board. Your presence here today signifies not only your interest, but also your commitment to advancing trade opportunities and fostering economic growth. Export Jamaica is more than just a platform. It is a catalyst for success, a bridge connecting Jamaican exporters to a world of opportunities. Our vision for Export Jamaica is clear: to empower exporters with timely, accurate, and actionable market insights. Whether you are a seasoned exporter seeking new markets or an aspiring entrepreneur taking your first step, this gateway will be your trusted companion. From market trends and regulatory updates to compliance guidelines and trade intelligence, Export Jamaica has been meticulously adapted and customized to serve your needs. I'd like to acknowledge some of our distinguished guests. Our Minister, Honorable Orbin Hill, who charged the agencies in his first meeting with us. I have to add, in military style, it reminded me of when I was in the JDF, to think outside the box and do everything we can to support the growth of exports. In doing so, he unleashed our creativity. We spawned two initiatives at the Trade Board. One, Export Jamaica, which is being launched today, and two, the development of an online export academy, which is soon to be launched. At the Trade Board Limited, we have long recognized that many potential exporters consider the task of finding markets and counterparts overseas daunting, and some believe the process of exporting is too complicated to try. Our two initiatives are geared to solve these two problems. So, Minister, we are very honored to have you participate in this launch today. You triggered that creativity. You opened the gate. To the industry leaders, some of who are watching the live stream, your attendance validates the shared commitment to driving Jamaica's export potential. To the exporters and entrepreneurs, you are the heartbeat of the economy. Export Jamaica is dedicated to your success, and we look forward to witnessing your growth through this platform. To the academics and researchers, and I had the opportunity to do a presentation to some postgraduate students at the University of West Indies just last weekend, and I sort of gave them a little insight, and they were quite excited, and so they have a feed to what we're doing here today. When I say to them that Export Jamaica aims to bridge the theory and practice, so we value their commitments, and we value their feedback. To the media representatives, your role in spreading the word about Export Jamaica is pivotal to its success. Thanks for the work you will do in relating the importance of Export Jamaica. And the members of the Trade Board Limited, your dedication and hard work have brought us to this moment. Let us celebrate this launch together. We moved it from concept to reality. As we embark on this journey, let us remember that Export Jamaica is not just a tool, it is a promise of efficiency, transparency, and global reach. Let us use Export Jamaica to unlock new horizons, find and make good use of export opportunities, and elevate Jamaica's export landscape. Thank you very much.
Another round of applause for Dr. Blake. We thank Dr. Blake for such a robust overview of our major milestone and the strategic direction of the Trade Board Limited. At this time, we will be exposed to the transformative capabilities of Export Jamaica. And to shed further light on Export Jamaica is our very own Mr. Jason Mills, Manager of Systems Engineering and Programming at the Trade Board Limited. A round of applause, please, for Mr. Mills.
Given that all protocols have been observed, a good morning to all. We will now be taking a look at Export Jamaica's market intelligence and compliance services and tools. This segment, we will be doing a presentation and a live demonstration where I will be highlighting some of the key features and functionalities and to see how it will be of benefit to its users. So what is Export Jamaica? Export Jamaica is a gateway provided by the Trade Board Limited, which provides global market intelligence and compliance information, tools, and other resources to support Jamaican businesses to expand into international markets. Through Export Jamaica, Jamaican businesses can access information that will help them overcome some of the challenges of selling their products into overseas markets by learning to take advantage of new growth opportunities. Our main target audience for Export Jamaica will be existing exporters, potential exporters, local manufacturers and producers who are looking to source raw materials for their production, as well as other government entities who are involved in supporting the export process within Jamaica. Some of the benefits of Export Jamaica are users can discover new and potential markets for their products, including potential buyers and business opportunities. Users can also find market information such as custom duties, access requirements, and procedures for goods entering into other countries. Users can also ascertain import and export compliance requirements for various countries around the world. Users can also access tools to aid in the calculation and conversion of export information as needed. Other benefits include better understanding of the international markets, expanded global market access, improved competitiveness, and being able to manage risk more effectively. The Export Jamaica Gateway comprises of over 21 different modules which provide different information. The Export Jamaica Gateway comprises of over 21 different modules which we have placed into 3 main categories. First category being explore new markets. This section can be explore global markets for exporting products by accessing international markets using country profiles, market insights, import and export detailed statistics, and other information associated. The second category, engage businesses. This section utilizes a collection of different databases to discover potential trade partners and marketplaces in your desired region, along with valuable resource for facilitating international trade. The third category, customs and compliance, where users are able to obtain information needed to manage their shipment and comply with rules and regulation in the target country, as well as find the applicable duties at the product level. As shown in the table on the screen, these are the models as they fall into the 3 different categories. I will continue to give more details on each module. So the first module that we will look at is best countries to trade. This module allows users to identify the top partner countries to export any given product based on the largest trade flows. The product is defined by a 6-digit HS number out of a total of over 5,000 different product descriptions. Country profile, this is a profile of over 188 countries as it relates to trade and general information about those countries around the world. Import and export flows, this module identifies the value of export/import flows for any given product to and from one of or a set of countries chosen by the user. There's also market insights, which contains over 25,000 industry and country-specific market reports and industrial insights. On the second category, first module, counterpart. This search tool helps you identify which companies import or export a specific product and provide an outline of the trade activity of each company. This module has over 1.5 million companies listed worldwide. The business directory that is available, the second module, a database that covers over 1,800 business directories from different industries around the world. There's also the professional associations and trade shows that are available. Marketplaces, this is a module. This database includes over 510 marketplaces classified by the country, continents, and/or industry. Information provided include a short description of the marketplace, the marketing feature proposed, the KPIs, the geographical coverage, the type of sale, whether it be business to business or business to consumer, depending on the market that you're looking to explore. There's also a tenders module that is available, which are tenders that are published around the world for persons in Jamaica that to make use of. On the third category, customs and compliance, the first module, shipping documents. This database identifies all the necessary documents to authorize the departure of goods from one country to their entry into another country for all parties involved in the trade and transit process. Import controls and export controls. So import controls, this database identifies product-specific barriers to importing, such as quotas, license requirements, anti-dumping and countervailing duties, prohibitions, embargoes, etc. in relation to importing any product, and this is broken down by the HS code in that particular country. So that is a local HS code for those countries around the world, which over 190 countries are covered. Export controls. This database identifies license requirements and restrictions for exporting of goods, including dual-use goods, into any country around the world. There's also a blacklist counterparts. This database assists in establishing whether a company or individual has been placed on any official list of parties sanctioned or banned by foreign trade transactions around the world. And this tool comprises of over 700 lists around the world, including the UN, the EU, the US consolidated list, as well as multiple national governments around the world. There's also the custom classification, which are both local and the general HS code classification. For the local custom classification, this tool enables users to find their local customs code up to the 12-digit where applicable in 133 countries, and they can either be searched via the tree structure of the local classification, or searched by a keyword, or searched by a HS code itself. On the gateway, we have also saw the need where there was need for additional tools to support the information that was provided. These tools would include a landing cost calculator, which is a tool to calculate duties, import taxes, transportation, and insurance charges for importing of goods into any country around the world. There's a selling price calculator, which is a tool to determine the selling price of a specific product, including all the necessary costs related to exporting in a given country. There's also a currency converter and a measurement converter that is available. We will now shift over to the live demonstration. So welcome to the export. Welcome to the Export Jamaica Gateway. This can be accessed by going to the URL tradeboard.gov.jm/exportjamaica, or you can click on a link that is accessible via the Tradeboard main website. As mentioned before, the three categories that are shown at the top of the screen are Explore New Markets, which shows the modules as explained that are listed below. There's Engage Businesses, which shows the modules listed below, and Customs and Compliance. There is also an About Us section, which tells a little bit about Export Jamaica, which provides an overview of the gateway, including some of the benefits of utilizing the gateway. As you scroll below, there's a Contact Us section, which provides contact details in the case there is a query, or there's also a feedback form that is available that you can send feedback in the case there is any errors or anything that you would like clarification on. Below, the frequently asked section provides information on the most common inquiries received. So as we receive the inquiries, we will compile those and put these responses on the gateway. All right. To explore Export Jamaica, the user will first register by creating a profile to utilize the system. You will then go to the sign up, where some information will be required, including the business name, business number, TRN number, first name and last name, email address, and a username and password just to create accounts to utilize the system. Once submitted, the Trade Board will then verify this information against the company's office database just to verify that this is actually a benefit that we are giving to the Jamaican population. So, to demonstrate the rest of the portal, what I'm going to do now is to use a use case scenario. The scenario where we will be using is a young farmer who have, say for example, inherited some land and decides to go into the cultivation of a crop, say for example ginger. There are some questions that that farmer would have in the back of his mind in the case that he wants to export. Information, some of the questions would be like, what are the main countries that are importing ginger, for example? What is the size of the market that is available? What information on doing business in that country can I gather? What are the companies that he can target to transact business with? What are the control measures that are in place, whether you need an import license, export license to go into that country? What are the document requirements? And also, what are the duty charges to export into that particular country? So there's a lot of questions that this particular farmer would need to address before he can even venture to go that route. So this is how the Export Jamaica Gateway can provide assistance. By clicking on the Get Started, the first module that appears is the best countries to trade. So the best countries to trade, as mentioned, this module allows users to identify the top partner countries to export any given product based on the largest trade flows available. So the first thing he will select, I'm looking for the best countries to export as an option. Then he will be able to select the product which is listed by the HS code. In the case that you know exactly where to go to, you can browse through the HS code to find that information. But a young farmer will not know how to navigate the HS code classification. So in that case, there are multiple options that are available which he can click to search through, or he can just simply type in what he wants. By searching for keywords, it will then narrow down the search to all information that would appear in the description. In this case, we choose ginger neither crushed nor ground based on the fact that it is directly from a farmer. Click on search, and then you will now see information related to countries that are importing ginger by the most imports. And this statistics, as shown, is from statistics around the world. So you can see United States being the largest importer of ginger, and it shows 3 years prior. So United States, Netherlands, and Japan are the top importing countries. By default, there's a list of 10 that is shown, but you can scroll further to retrieve more information on different countries. But in the case that we know the statistics from around the world, but this farmer now wants to know which countries is Jamaica actually exporting to. So you can actually select the country, Jamaica in this instance, and this will now provide information on the top countries that Jamaica is actually exporting ginger to. So United States, Canada, and Cayman Islands, which are shown as the top exporting countries. Let's go back to the world information. So for the purpose of this demonstration, I'll focus on these 3 countries: United States, Netherlands, and Japan. So now I know which countries I can target because they are importing a lot of ginger. Now I'd want to know more about a particular country. Say, for example, Netherlands. I've heard the name, but I don't know anything really about them. So in this case, I can select country profile, which this is a list of over 188 countries around the world, which breaks down a general profile about how to do business with that particular country. I would look for Netherlands in this case. As shown, there are information that are given in the introduction section, including population, languages that are spoken, the ethnic group. For example, the official language, Dutch and Frisian. Other language spoken, English, German, and Spanish. So those information are very unique to know about the country before you actually try to do business with, because in the case you're creating a label, for example, which I'll come to further, you'd like to know how to produce your label to suit that need. Other information that are shown: a general country overview, telecommunication, and general trade figure in the introduction section. There are multiple sections under the country profile: economic and political information, overview, a trade profile, business practices, tax information, click on that, which gives you a broad sense of what the tax system is like in that particular country. There's also a legal environment, reaching the consumer, and selling information. I'm going to click on the selling information here just to highlight one particular section. So on the selling information, there are market access procedures, which include customs procedures, which are general information. This information is broken down further into other modules. There's also custom duties and taxes on imports that are applicable. But one particular section I want to highlight is label and packaging rules in that particular country. So this information, I think, is very important for an exporter to know in the case that you need to customize your labeling for that particular country that you are exporting to. And it also provides, in this case, consultant that you can click on, as well as the relevant entity in that country that you can contact for more information. Other information that are available: buying, operating a business, investing, entry requirements in the country, as well as there's also a COVID-19 slots for information. So that gives you a broad overview of Netherlands in the case I want to do business with Netherlands. So now I have identified countries that I can do business with. I know a little bit more about the country by doing the research on the gateway. Now, the other question I would want to answer is, who do I sell this product to? So this is where the other module will come in handy. So counterparts. This search tool helps you identify which companies import or export a selected product and provide an outline of the trade activities for each company. This module has over 1.5 million companies listed in this database. So I would search by product based on the fact that I've already identified a product and I'm actually looking for an importer into that country. I would then search for the product of interest. You can select multiple products, and then you can select the location. In this case, I'll just select United States. So here, based on the statistics that are available, you can find out that there's over 231 companies that are available importing ginger into the United States. So you can browse through that list and select more information on each one of these as needed. You can also load more information that are available: the name of the company, the country in which it's located, and you can click here for more information. The information that is available, so the name is there, the address of the company is also there, and the description of the product in which they are importing. You can also see who they are importing from. So in this case, you can see that they're importing ginger from Thailand as well as Cape Verde. And these would be potential competitors in the case that you are doing business with that particular company. So you can, in this case, even check out the competitor to see what they are doing. So the competitor would be Sell All, that is selling to the company that we're interested in. And you can also look at their address, as well as look at who else they are exporting to. In this case, this company is also exporting to China, and this is the company that they're exporting to. So you can actually use that to start doing and making a step forward to competing with those companies. Continuing on, export module. This database identifies license requirements and restrictions for exporting any goods, including dual-use goods, into any country. So you first choose the country of export, in this case Jamaica. Country of manufacture remain at Jamaica. Country of import would be the United States. And you then select the product. So this will break down the tariff code as well as provide the information that there's actually an export license that is required from Jamaica to export this particular product, and it states the entity in which you need to go. In this case, the Ministry of Agriculture and Fishery, as well as it states the section of the Customs Act that covers that particular requirement. Continuing on, there's also the import controls. This database identifies product-specific barriers to importing, such as quotas, license requirements, anti-dumping and countervailing duties, and prohibitions. So we then choose the country of import, could choose the country of export, in this case Jamaica, and select the product. You can then select the item. This information now tells what is required from the importing country to import ginger into the United States based on the country that we have selected. In this case, it tells you the controlling authority, provide notes, as well as the source of where that information lies in the acts that govern it. And in case there are multiple requirements, it will state each, as well as notes that will guide you along the process. Finally, the shipping documents. So you select the country of imports. So in the case we already have the product, so we'd select the product. And just to note, the difference with the HS code that you are seeing now is actually from a country level. And so this HS code is actually from the United States HS code breakdown. So you'd select the item, Russian ground, and search. The information is currently loading because there's quite a few documents that will be populated based on the shipping documents and the amount of documents that are involved. So there are over 70 different documents that are identified, and also, as you can see, there are import documents and export documents that are available. So the list shows the required documents, the type of document, and also a specimen of that document. In the case that it's a physical form, it will provide a form that you can actually start filling out at this stage. So in this case, custom bond, entry manifest, etc. There are over 70 documents that are available, and you can click on any of these to actually retrieve the information that are available. And in the case this is a form that is needed to fill out, you can actually start the process from here. I'll just touch one more module in this demonstration. So the last question that you'd want to answer is, what are the duties that are required to export into that particular country? So this information that will be retrieved is information of the duty that you'll be paying in exporting into the United States. So in the case that there is a preferential agreement that is available, it will state the information about the type of preferential agreement, in this case CBI. It will state the duty that will be paid if you qualify for that agreement, and it also state the GSP that is available and the duty that will pay in the case that you qualify for that agreement. In the case that you are not going through a trade agreement, it also states the original duty that you would pay in this case. So in a nutshell, these are some of the main modules that we recommend for a beginner to use, but there's quite a number of other modules that are available that an expert can continue to use to get more information, including especially the blacklist that you can look up at individual, a company, a shipping line to know if this person that you've met through the online system, if they are on any lists that you should be worried about. All right, so one of the main questions that persons normally ask, what is the source of the data? So on the following tables, we have listed each module, the source of the data, and the frequency at which this information is updated. In the case of, for example, best countries to trade, the source will be UN Comtrade, and this data is updated yearly based on its yearly statistics that's populated. Country profile is gathered by the Export Enterprise Organization, and that's a continuous update. Import and export flows, that's from UN Comtrade, and that's a yearly update. And there's also market insights, which are gathered from multiple sources around the world, which information is updated weekly. Other information under the Engage Businesses module, counterparts, which that is a combination of sources which include export enterprise and over 40 plus national customs worldwide. And that information is updated yearly. Business directory and professional association, those two are from the export enterprise, and those two modules are updated twice per year. There's also the trade show and marketplace, which are from export enterprise, as well as the tenders, which are updated from multiple sources, and our data is kept up to date daily. The customs and compliance information, shipping documents, import and export controls, blacklist counterparts, those are all sourced from E2 Open, and those are updated on a daily basis. And the HS custom classification is sourced from the World Custom Organization, and that is updated as applicable. So in a nutshell, that's it for my presentation.
Another round of applause for Mr. Mills. That was truly an engaging presentation. What I love most about Export Jamaica is that it's free. It's free to every single Jamaican to browse for critical market intelligence and compliance information that can assist their business. Another round of applause, please, for Export Jamaica. At this time, present in our room, ladies and gentlemen, and online, we thank our online viewers for joining. We will now add a personal touch to the event where we have invited a few valuable stakeholders to share their experiences and interactions with Export Jamaica. Now, their testimonials will provide real-life insights into the use and impact of this platform. So let's hear their stories. We now invite the effervescent CEO of the Jamaica Business Development Corporation, Miss Valerie Vieira, to bring remarks on Export Jamaica.
Wow, what an introduction. First, I want to correct this freeness about entry, that I'm into business development. Dr. Hugh Blake, this freeness and chairman, the freeness thing, we'll put a charge eventually. Notice I say we. All right, what a wonderful morning. And my mom would say that was not a mouthful, that was a belly full. A big meal and a good meal. I'm a country girl. And I must start by saying how proud I am, and indeed, Team JBDC, of the absolutely game-changing work that our brother, I make sure not say sister agency, our brother agency has shared with us so far. And what we know, that this is not a mere sort of fascination with technology. It's sexy these days to be with the trend and understand technology, and everything is technology. It was well beyond that. It was a design and development of a solution, and that's important for our business community to engage in Minister Export, export, what is it? Doctrine, export doctrine. So it's a big part of that. But while we speak of exports, we must also notice that even in importing, because we do import some raw material, valuable information is contained on the site. And that is just as important. But as Minister is outside, I want to put that in. But he's focused on the export side. Now, and the thing is that technology has become sort of the fad. What we noticed from interacting with our team colleagues is that they were clear that it was a tool. A tool. We have expanded the toolbox, we have updated the toolbox, and it is a tool. It's not just a fascination with technology. And that was important for us at JBDC, because too often we see companies and individuals engage in the excitement of technology. But in terms of using it as a real tool and a facilitator of economic development, it's not usually there. It's right here, as we saw there. And that's very important. I must also say that from our experience, the team at Trade Board didn't sit in their office and come up with this nice thing. They interacted with others. Certainly JBDC spent many hours, right, Harry? We spent hours with the team explaining the needs from our clients, the solutions we needed. And we saw it right as part of the development of the site. And it's important because often we sit in our office and we like what we do. And it serves our purpose exciting, but it serves no other purpose. And when we are in business, we must be serving a purpose. And you wouldn't know without interaction. And I must say this team has engaged with a number of agencies, and certainly JBDC can freely say that we were a big part of that. We're very honored to spend time with the team at Trade Board. We got some lunch and all of that included, which made it good as well. But certainly, there's a clear understanding as to how it's going to facilitate our clients, which, you know, the most important client in the business community, right, Minister? The MSMEs, yes, for sure. And I can see, not only for them, but what we're seeing is that we, as JBDC, as an agency who must provide appropriate support to our clients, we can learn also how we can engage and what we can use the information from the site to do. And, you know, what was exciting for me is that when you sit with the team led by, take the retired thing out, because I know you're just using that to get some special favors. I get discounts. But there's not the retiring. He's the man, he's the major down at the yard. When you sit with that team, they were very clear about purpose. What is their purpose? And what they do, how it matches the mandate, how it facilitates growth, not of Trade Board, but of Jamaica. And definitely Team JBDC was just absolutely fascinated to sit and share with them. And, you know, they're so committed to purpose. And that is also important because we've seen it demonstrated fully here. So we're on board, we're excited. You know, we're at JBDC, we're excited about everything, we're hype. But we are so, and on board director is here, Minister, so you're here. So we're very excited now for next step when we start using the site. And we have really turned up the heat with our clients, and they're also waiting anxiously in the wings. It is just absolutely fabulous. And we're so happy to be part of the process, to be part of our ministry, with the Minister of Religion, with the export doctrine thing. And I just think it's such a great part of the process. And the team must be congratulated because what they have done is absolutely, absolutely fantastic. So congrats, my team members, and we're looking forward to many, many more activities and collaboration with our colleagues at the Trade Board. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Vera, for those heartfelt remarks. Now we will continue sharing those stories, and now we will invite Ms. Shanique Edwards, Acting Manager of Agribusiness Exports at JAMPRO, to deliver remarks on behalf of the President of JAMPRO, Ms. Shulette Cox. Please welcome Ms. Edwards.
Thank you. Considering that all protocols have been observed, good morning, everyone. It is indeed a pleasure to represent the President of JAMPRO, Shulette Cox, who is unavoidably absent due to a JAMPRO board meeting currently underway. So it is a pleasure to be here with you to speak on this milestone launch of the Trade Board Limited's Export Jamaica platform for global market intelligence and compliance, which is geared towards putting information at the fingertips of our exporters and local MSMEs in general. We extend a hearty congratulations to the Trade Board Limited on the introduction of this platform, which is apt for JAMPRO's own mandate to promote exports. As Jamaica's export promotion and facilitation agency, over the past year, we as an agency have been following the lead of our ministry and our minister in placing a renewed focus on implementing strategies to increase the country's exports by encouraging more local enterprises to enter the export space and become exporters of goods and services. In doing so, JAMPRO works closely with local MSMEs to either help them get ready to be able to start exporting or to significantly boost their current export levels. Now, at the start of the current year, we have also started engaging those who had long stopped exporting to figure out their challenges and help them to get into export markets once more. And so, as JAMPRO seeks to expose local entities to international markets with a view to increasing the sales of Jamaican products and services overseas, we are clear that making the right business connections is only possible with access to the right information. We are therefore extremely excited to learn of the Trade Board Limited's new Export Jamaica platform focused on sharing market access and compliance information that is complementary to the export facilitation efforts of JAMPRO. As presented earlier by Mr. Mills, Export Jamaica promises to be a powerful resource platform for all of us to utilize, and I can assure you, JAMPRO will be one of the first entities to sign up. Of course, we will encourage our clients to do so as well, as I can see our manufacturers maximizing the market intelligence provided through Export Jamaica to better inform product development, improve product differentiation, increase their awareness of global market trends and industry outlook, and readily adapt to improve market access and expansion and strengthen brand competitiveness. JAMPRO is excited about the synergies, collaboration, and cooperation across not just our two agencies, but across all agencies of the ministries that support exporters and export activities. This joined up whole of government approach, as we like to call it, is what our local MSMEs require from us. A recognition that while there are diverse touch points or assistance that we can individually provide, collaborative efforts are essential to make major contributions to the big picture, which is the growth of the Jamaican economy. JAMPRO congratulates the Trade Board once more on this endeavor towards the Government of Jamaica's effort to have online systems in place to facilitate exporting companies, empowering Jamaican businesses, and increasing our global competitiveness. In closing, JAMPRO encourages all Jamaican exporters, whether experienced or new to exporting, to visit the platform and take advantage of its array of resources and tools as we all work together to expand Jamaica's export capabilities and position Jamaica to the world as the place of choice to source high-value goods and services. Enjoy the rest of the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Edwards. We truly appreciate the synergies that have been formed with our brother and sister agencies as we move exports forward. Now it is time for our final and perhaps our most important stakeholder, who will share the perspective from the exporting community. Tasked with this is none other than Mr. Stephen Dawkins, who is the Vice President and Committee Chair of Exports and Logistics at the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association. Join me in welcoming him.
Protocols observed. All I can say is wow. And I'm saying wow because I can speak from two perspectives on behalf of the JMEA as well as a private sector individual who has been in export pretty much all my life with Jerry and Neville and now the Wisinko group. And one of the things that I saw that was very important was that blacklist. I've traveled to nearly 40 countries. No, 51 countries. I did that check. 51 countries throughout my lifetime. And I remember two occasions that I, do your research, do your groundwork, get your suitcase, pack everything, go. Once, trying to find a client. Once, when I reached, it was a bus stop, right? A bus stop that you find. And, again, it's not very many companies that small companies could do that because you're spending expenses. And the other time was somewhere in Belize that you went and you tried to find this company and you walk up and down and all over the place and just couldn't find it. So I think it is fabulous what is done and well thought through. I could not, as an exporter, I could not see anything that I could say, yeah, you could do this differently, you could have done that better. Yes, it's fantastic. So I'm going to read a script given to me. I hate reading script, but I'll do it. Before the, protocols observed, right? Before the JMEA, there was the JEA. And I was the deputy president at the JEA under Michelle Chung at the time. And one of the things that we always talk about is export or die. So there was an article, export or die. Or wealthy, exactly. But an article published in the Gleaner 2012 by the late Prime Minister Edward Seaga. He had lamented about Jamaica, about its high debt ratio and its relationship between the country's poor economic situation and need to increase external sales to generate foreign exchange. Then the GDP was like, debt to GDP was 140%, now 72%. Undoubtedly, for us to become a prosperous country, we must prioritize exports. This necessitates implementing support system to assist the private sector in increasing export for both goods and services. I'm incredibly honored and excited to stand before you today to mark the launch of Export Jamaica platform. This momentous occasion represents significant milestone in our journey towards empowering manufacturers and exporters with the tools they need to thrive in the global marketplace. The Export Jamaica platform is more than just a technological advancement. It is a pivotal resource that will revolutionize how businesses access critical market data and navigate compliance requirements. By providing comprehensive market intelligence, this platform will equip our manufacturers and exporters with insights they need to identify opportunities, enter new markets, and successfully promote and sell their products on a global scale. In today's fast-paced, competitive global economy, access to accurate, timely market information is essential for success. The JMEA has approximately 520 members, with about 30%, or approximately 150, involved in export. Given the need to adhere to export requirements, many of our members rely on data to support efficient operations. I must commend the Trade Board on its efforts to improve service delivery through digitization. These are commendable steps that support manufacturers and exporters in increasing their market penetration. In looking closer at the export platform, it certainly filled this crucial gap by consolidating wealth of data and insights in a single user-friendly interface. It is user-friendly. Whether it is discovering new potential markets for products, ascertaining import and export compliance requirements for over 190 countries, finding market information, custom duties, which is very, very critical, very important to exporters, the trade agreements, critical, and access requirements tools, such as the cost calculator and selling price calculator. Again, the blacklist, important, important. Undoubtedly, this platform will serve a valuable resource for business of all sizes. Beyond the practical benefits, the launch of Export Jamaica platform signifies a commitment to fostering innovation, growth, and prosperity within our business community. It is a testament to the government of Jamaica unwavering dedication to supporting manufacturers and exporters as we navigate the complexities of the global marketplace. I'm filled with optimism and excitement for the opportunities that lies ahead. Together, we have the power to transform the landscape of the Jamaican exports and propel our businesses to new heights and success. In closing, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude on behalf of the JMEA to everyone who has played a role in bringing the Export Jamaica platform to fruition. Your hard work, dedication, and vision have made this movement possible, and I have no doubt that together we will achieve great things. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Dawkins. While Mr. Mills was presenting, I noticed when we got to the section about best countries to trade, I noticed Mr. Dawkins' body language. He was like, I need to get on Export Jamaica right now. So I'm sure that when you get back to the office, it's the first thing you'll visit. Now, we're running a bit behind, and our very distinguished guest will need to leave shortly. So this next individual that will appear to us needs no introduction. This is our business minister, or Minister of Export. Ladies and gentlemen, help me to welcome Senator the Honorable Aubin Hill as he delivers his keynote address.
What a great pleasure to be here this morning and to see this Miss Valerie. And Major Dr. Blake, to see this come to fruition. But let me do the salutations. My dear Permanent Secretary, Mr. Sanse Bennett Templar, Permanent Secretary, Mr. Danville Walker, Chairman of the Trade Board Limited, Dr. Major, retired Hugh Blake, Trade Administrator and Chief Executive Officer of the Jamaica Trade Board. Mr. Thwaites is represented today by the intrepid Mr. Stephen Dawkins. Stephen is all over the place and visiting bus stops in foreign countries. Of course, the indomitable Mrs. Valerie Vieira from JBDC, a walking around institution herself. Miss Shanique Edwards, who is representing Gillette today. I see board member, Mr. Nita is here from JBDC, and other boards I know he's on. It's JCESA as well, right? You're on JCESA board and JBDC. The management and staff of the Jamaica Trade Board Limited. Congrats to you all, media practitioners and very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and Mr. Mills. Really. His presentation was robust and really deep. The kind of work, I had the privilege of seeing a preview with this with the chairman and Dr. Blake and the PS and myself, and to see what you've done with this since then. It was then quite impressive what you've done with this. The collaboration that we talked about, you obviously have followed. What you presented is impressive. And when you can get Dawkins to say it is impressive, I mean Mr. Dawkins, of course, and that he's ready to use it, it's amazing. But what makes me excited, oh, and I see Dana here as well. Dana used to run the ganja business. See, sorry, I mean she was the head of the CLA. My CTD, Mrs. Dawkins, Mrs. Franklin is here with us. But when I see the collaboration, when I started to take over this ministry in early 2022, and I had the first meeting of the agencies, and I don't go soft on anything. If I'm playing tennis and you're on the other side, you're the opponent. My son learned that the hard way, that, you know, he has to be an opponent. So when time came and he went to high school, he decided to learn rugby. He said, well, Dad can't play this. I'm not going to play any more tennis with him. Because I go hard. But, so when I had that first meeting, and I came out with the idea that we must collaborate more, get out of our silos, and make sure the amazing intelligence and experience and training that resides in our 20 agencies must be used across the board. I've seen it before, but Mr. Mills, you've done a tremendous job. And give him a round of, I mean, it's not just him. It's a lot of people who work with him. But I know that he was the head of the spear on this one. And the product that you produce is really outstanding. When I say one thing, though, the creator of the logo and the symbol of the board, and it's Professor Dr. Retired Major Hugh. You see that logo? It must not change. Every single time you see Amazon or ExxonMobil, it doesn't change. The color doesn't change. The format doesn't change. Nothing is changed about it. So how did this come up? Here is your launch. And I'm like this. My agencies now get used to me. This is the logo right up here. Very nice. It was agreed by everybody. But in here, so, Export Jamaica, what is that? That's not the logo. Your launch. And this wording beside it really masks the whole Export Jamaica thing. It's the same wording. It doesn't stand out. And all you have to do is use the logo and make sure it is consistent. Anywhere Export Jamaica is associated with the trade board, that is what must be seen. That is the logo of the, right, Mr. Mills? You and your guys who make this on computer, make sure it's consistent. Otherwise, you lose the effect of it. And what you've done is so good. I mean, 190 countries, the blacklist, the kind of detail you do to get into there. Make sure, though, Dr. Blake, that we are really selling this on social media, everywhere you go, constantly on social media, to make sure the MSME use it. Get Wignall and his group and everybody else to make sure they push it, because they're the ones who use it best. I'm telling you, you don't have to tell Grace, and Mr. Dawkins is here. He runs export for Wisconsin. You don't have to worry about them. They're going to use it ad nauseum. But the 150 exporters that I want to see turn into 300 exporters, because while Saudi Arabia has 2 exporters, Aramco and another one, maybe 3, them don't need more than 2. Them have 1 major product and everybody wants it. We have a measure of a plethora. No, me can't use them kind of word that Miss Valerie used. Me have to say whole heap. The whole heap of exporters we need. You know, she sends me notes and say, hey, what about this word? Me said, but I'm not from Uptown, Valerie. You can't put them things in my mouth. We can't use them. So plethora is one of them. As the Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Jamaica's business ministry, I'm delighted to participate in this historic event. It really is. The unveiling of the Export Jamaica platform. Young man, very happy to see you. Make sure you're branded quietly. You can't take the brand off because JIPO is our agency. When you go up there, you're going to turn your back. But you can say, I did it. A groundbreaking global market intelligence and compliance gateway. JAMPRO is doing the business gateway. Trade Board is doing the market intelligence and compliance gateway. Whole heap of gateways to come into Jamaica, and more will be coming. And Janak is over there certifying everybody to make sure they use the gateway. We have Export Jamaica is another major achievement for the Jamaica Trade Board Limited, an agency fueled and committed to the pursuit of excellence under Jamaica's business ministry. Our vision, oh, and Dr. Vetton is here. He has gateways for testing and certifying, and every week I get a new one that he's setting up a new standard. Wonderful. Want to make sure a country run by high standards so that when people see products from Jamaica, they know it is meeting high standards. Our vision for the platform is clear: to lead in the provision of vital market intelligence that plays a pivotal role in supporting Jamaican businesses as they ambitiously expand into markets around the world. Or on several occasions in various spaces and events, I have emphasized that micro, small, and medium enterprises, MSME, must seek to build their wealth by selling their goods and services to overseas markets rather than relying solely on Jamaican markets. It is imperative that large companies support smaller companies. When you go away, Stephen Dawkins, and you see you're selling whatever you're selling, mainly beverages and similar stuff, but you see somebody really wants sauce, or somebody who sells sauce, or somebody who wants uniforms in the region. You said, what, don't just say, this is not my business. I want big companies, because you're going to travel, you travel a lot. Those small companies can travel, but you can identify. And you're the vice president, luckily, of JMEA. So you can come back and find a company that does that. That's why they have you as president. Because them know, so you're traveling, you get big salary. And them can't go. So you think them vote for you for just because of your looks. I mean, you're good looking, but that's not the point. So big companies must find ways to help MSMEs. And this is a good way. Yes, you must, and you're going to hear me say this all the time. I just came back from just now. I just left JSIF. I do a whole speech, so the name them get me. It's JSIF. JSIF having a seminar for contractors. And I out there and I preach the message. I say you make sure your choice of contractors is fair and transparent. Make sure when you choose them, you pay them. Because some seem to be preferred and get their payment on time or ahead of time, and some can't get them payment. And then you say, oh, they must do more work. Well, you haven't given them the cash flow to work. As some may tell them, and some may tell you too, because television is right there. I wanted to do around. We must make sure things are fair for everybody in this country. Everybody, and it's not just the government must be fair. We must be fair because we're the government. And when we're not, we're held to be accountable. But big companies must also be purposeful. You're going to spend 50 million this year, or you're going to spend 1.5 billion Jamaican this year. How much of that spend in your boardroom are you saying must be spent in Jamaica purposefully? If you don't purpose to sell, to spend your money in Jamaica, you're going to spend it somewhere else. So get purpose and make sure your budget, you're going to import a whole bunch of stuff. That's why we have the trade board. We know you're going to import. But how much have you purposed in your company that this must be spent in Jamaica? And when you do that, you go and find suppliers. You help suppliers like Toyota help their engineers. Which engineers? They never have mechanics when they start. Them buy place and put in machine and get mechanics and then make mistakes. But Toyota, when them do the work for the Toyota, pay themselves for the machines that they give them. We in Jamaica must understand that when you build MSMEs as big companies, those are the people who buy your products. There are 425,000 MSME registered in Jamaica. Where you think the people work? Them can't all work at Wisynco and Grace and Jamaica Brothers Group or NCB. They work at MSMEs. So big companies, it's in your interest to help small companies to grow. Small companies, it is your responsibility to make sure you're efficient and you're creating good products. And this product here, Export Jamaica, is one of them that will help you. So, you go around Grace, you go around Wisynco, you go around CPJ, you go around NCB, and you see they're doing things that really, if you think you and your partners together, some bright young people and some experienced people with some money, get together and say, why is NCB keep doing that? Why is Wisynco doing this? Let us put a company together. Go and see Mr. Mahfood at Wisynco and say, we know you do this thing well. We know you're Wisynco. But you know something? We have a plan. We can do it better and more efficiently. And here's the cost. You go and do drinks and send Mr. Dawkins not to bus stops, but to fine hotels. And let us do... He does go to fine hotels. He's traveled with me. I know that. I may have to say, well, P.S., why Mr. Dawkins in that hotel and your minister is in this hotel? So, but the point is, we must make sure that as we build a Jamaica that builds Jamaicans, ordinary Jamaicans, this is one portal that the government is doing. Businesses must do the portal to say, I must find ways to work with the MSMEs so my economy gets stronger and more people in Jamaica buy my products and get wealthy. And when more people get employed, it's a funny thing. Crime goes down. It's not a lie. It's the truth. So we look for that growth and productivity. So small companies, here's another product from the government to make you more productive. You don't have to go travel and write long letters and wait for telexes, which don't exist anymore, to get information. We give it to you online. So, Mr. Mills and your team, it must be updated. I see some things are daily. It must be robust. It must be reliably, relentlessly reliable, so that every time you go on, it must go up. If your power no work, get a generator, so that the system no go down. Because the moment it goes down, reliability gets a hit. It's doubted after that. So you make sure that the portal provided by the Trade Board gives MSME a huge boost in achieving this objective. It's a solid example of one political plug I get for each speech. It's a solid example of the Andrew Holness administration's commitment to helping businesses grow. And no matter take me on, just leave me alone. In October 2023, the unemployment stood at a historic 4.2%, lowest we ever had in our history. And for about 3 years, we kept pushing down that historical low. That's good, wonderful. January, we had, from January to August in 2023, our exports grew by 29%. You know, we're starting from a small base. But when we're growing exports, and I was just listening, all of the speeches, when I came here, you know Danville. Danville is my friend, so we can call him Chairman and Danville. Danville, when we came to the ministry, for years, nobody really talked about export consistently and as a drive, and not recognizing what, if we only have 3 million people, we have limited land space, we can't expand it, so where are we going to get more growth? Through exports. Because, you know, we're not like in Europe where you can invade anybody. We don't have anybody to invade. So we have to go and negotiate new markets. So we have to make sure that we export. So export is growing. But boy, we have a far way to go, because it's 61 years out of the 62 years that we're independent. 61 of them, we've had negative trade balances. And the last positive one was in 1966. We have to keep exporting. So big exporters find ones for the small ones as well. More of these successes must reach ordinary people. I was just talking at JSIF, and JSIF is out there building schools, building water systems, roads in communities where ordinary people, some of them men and women, get the work and the money gets into their pockets. We need Stephen from the JMEA to make sure the MSMEs all over the country, and you know the road shows we've had, you've been out there with us, get that business and grow their business so ordinary Jamaicans, a lot more, can feel the benefit that we talk about from 4.2% unemployment and so on. Right now, we need to get that out to Jamaicans. JBDC is doing a great job in terms of getting many more ordinary people who not be in business getting involved in business. Tools such as Export Jamaica, this one, aim to assist our businesses with accessing markets across the globe. And I want us to change our focus. I like Coronation Market. I like the market in Newmarket in St. Elizabeth. I want the markets in Dubai and New York and Baltimore and Atlanta and Paris. Is all them high market city there that Stephen Dawkins goes to. Export will enable local MSMEs to unlock and take advantage of better business opportunities. And again, big exporters help MSMEs. Help them. You're helping yourself when you're building the Jamaican market. So this is how Export Jamaica will help or MSMEs. You heard a lot of it. It will assess business to identifying the right target country, forge meaningful connections that transcends borders, a whole heap of them, but it also help customs duties calculator. You have a calculator to calculate your customs duty. You don't have to go worry ahead anymore. Mr. Mills and his team just make it easy for you, like your mortgage calculator that Jane and others will give you on VM. Landed cost calculator. Understand how to get that done quickly. Selling price calculator. In other words, this is about trade. Our calculators are there to help you do trade. Calculate your duties. Calculate your landed costs. Calculate your selling price. Your measurement converter. Seamlessly convert units from to, no matter from what. What you want now is kg and km. Okay? Currency converter. Stay up to date. How much Jamaican dollars you need to buy a Trinidadian dollar and so on. This platform will transform how you conduct business locally and globally. I encourage all businesses, irrespective of the size or niche you're in, to embrace the potential of Export Jamaica. Sell it everywhere. I'm going to make sure, Roxanne, make sure it's in my speech everywhere. Somewhere, I'm going to sell it. And that too, two things must be in there. The business gateway from JAMPRO and the Export Jamaica from the Trade Board. And as we build, we add more to it. Make a strategic investment in your businesses and focus on the production of high-quality products and services that possess the inherent appeal to captivate international markets. Not just products, although Trade Board is about products, but I have to add services because I'm looking at the full economy. So make sure you put in high quality. Make sure anything you do is excellent. Make sure your packaging is outstanding, very attractive. If the packaging not right, I used to tell my seminars when I used to do seminars that, I worked at Bloomingdale's in the heyday when I was at business school, the summer. And boy, that time Bloomingdale's was booming. They packaged, I remember they had something called Amos cookies. And this guy make cookies in his house and put it in a brown bag. And people used to line up outside Bloomingdale's for weeks after weeks to get Amos cookies. Famous Amos, that's the one. Right. And so it's ordinary cookie. So I always said, look, and when Monet, a brand called Monet, make jewelry, came out, they're not real jewelry. They're fancy costume jewelry. Thank you very much, Valerie, and the other women. Fancy costume jewelry. Well, Monet, M-O-N-E-T, packaged its jewelry so that Saks and Bergdorf Goodman and Bloomingdale's have it right in the front of the store. And it just reminded me that if you put a wonderful diamond in a piece of old coconut shell, trash and throw it before the Trade Board, everybody kick it and leave it alone. And you put a piece of brass that you shine up pretty and put it in a package, and you put it in Bloomingdale's and they pay you for a whole heap of money for it. Packaging is important. So make sure as we look at the world market, and I encourage you to go to the world market, you are recognizing that how you present your stuff is vitally important. So, no longer just a regulator, Mr. Trade Board, but active facilitator and enabler of trade. Trade Board, do make sure you constantly upgrade your online Export Jamaica portal. Constantly upgrade so that it becomes relentlessly reliable and very, very robust. The Jamaica Trade Board's adoption of a new name and logo serves as a laudable testament to their commitment to fortifying trade services with Jamaican businesses. This strategic rebranding initiative represents more than a symbolic change. It signifies a profound dedication to adapting and enhancing trade services to meet the evolving needs of the business community. When I went to NCB, they were importing uniforms. I say I'm not signing anymore to go overseas. It was to our biggest trading partner. Oh, but they don't do the uniforms nice. Don't. I said, what nonsense. When they got the uniforms, you know who repaired them? The Jamaican seamstresses. So we said, no, I'm not signing anymore. So we called 3 people from the JEA at the time. Doreen Frankson was the head of it. And JMA, right, JMA. And she sent me 3. We chose one. Today the rest is history. It's Mark Design. Mark Design, Miss Nicely, had 2 sons. She had it in her house for 15 square meters in a residential area. Shouldn't be. So they could have kicked her out anytime. And we bring her in. Why you didn't deal with NCB before? Well, she didn't want to tell me. Says, but you can tell me. I'm new to Jamaica. I don't know all of them. So tell me. And she tells me. She said, well, they used to lock me out. And when them give me a contract, they give me a 1-year contract. I can't do anything with that. Can't buy equipment, nothing. So after we did, I said, give her a 5-year contract for $80 million. She couldn't believe it. But I say, we at NCB will finance the equipment. We will make sure we get paid out of when she does the uniform and we have to pay her. Today, Mark Designs operate out of a 24,000 square foot factory that employs 140 people and exports to 13 different countries. That's a success story. But that's because a big company decided to help and use a small Jamaican company that had to get their help, but now everybody is better off. Export Jamaica. Go forth and do likewise. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister Hill, for that invigorating remarks and delivery. So we are now pumped up to do what? We're pumped up to do what? Export Jamaica. Thank you so much, Minister Hill. Now we're almost at the end, and we invite the minister to just indulge with us for about 5 more minutes when we unveil our new Jamaica Trade Board logo. So at this time, I'm going to invite Dr. Hugh Blake and the Honorable Danville Walker, Chairman of our board, yes, as well as our Permanent Secretary and the Minister to unveil our logo.
All right. Okay, so just before we unveil, I just have a few words to say. And I think it's important to understand why we're going through this process. The Trade Board Limited recently celebrated 40 years of dedicated service and is now embarking on an exciting rebranding journey. Our mission to transform from a mere regulatory agency into a robust trade facilitator as well. We are amplifying our mandates by providing vital trade-related information to the business community in Jamaica. Today, we proudly introduce Export Jamaica, a game-changing global market intelligence and compliance gateway. But that's not all. I want you to stay tuned for our upcoming online Export Academy, which is designed to empower exporters with the knowledge and to give them the confidence to master trade in the global markets. There are other key initiatives. We have our ongoing Step Up Export with Trade Agreements campaign, where we are hitting the ground. We're not sitting in the office anymore because nobody coming there for information. So we are out there in the fields, and we're hitting the ground, meeting businesses with export potential, explaining the benefits to be derived from the various trade agreements. To date, Sharon, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but we have visited over 160 companies in Jamaica, sat with them, explained the whole thing. We are also hand-holding exporters, taking them through the process to access the benefits of the agreements. As far as digital transformation is concerned, we are now 90% of our processes are already digital. From processing applications to certifications are now online. Our new logo, therefore, embodies empowerment and digital prowess. I now invite the Honorable Minister, our PS, and our Chairman to unveil our new logo while I tell you a few words about it and what it signifies. Minister. Okay, but I have to come back, right?
All right, so on the count of 3, let's get ready. 1, 2, 3. And we have the new Jamaica Trade Board logo. A bigger round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for that. Thank you so much.
That's the new logo. All right. Our new logo is a visual testament to our commitment. Bold shapes represents strength and resilience. The interlocking circles symbolizes collaboration and interconnectedness of the world that is in blue, trading with Jamaica, and Jamaica in black, green, and gold, trading with the world. With arrows pointing upwards, symbolizing growth. The digital accents, that is the pixelated longitudinal and latitudinal lines, reflecting our tech-forward approach. Join us as we redefine trade facilitation, empower businesses, and embrace the digital age. The Trade Board's legacy continues, stronger than ever. Thank you very much.
Well said, Dr. Blake. Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, as we usher in the new Jamaica Trade Board. We are now at the time of the program where we will move forward with our question and answer segment. We have a few representatives from the media here. There will be a roving mic, so please raise your hand if you would like to ask a question. All right. Since there are no questions at this time, as we approach the end of this auspicious occasion, I now invite our very own chairman, the Honorable Danville Walker, to bring the closing remarks.
Well, just making it good morning. Morning all. Protocol is observed. Yes, I put mine back a bit, so it's still morning. I thought, when I heard Dr. Blake say, our young lady said there was no questions, I remember we share a time in the army, not at the same time, and we used to say that at the end of our lectures, there be no questions. Because we didn't have time for the questions, you better get it the first time. You know, there's, the closing remarks usually, we're thanking everybody, all those who did work, you're thanked. So I'll go on to some things I want to say. You know, our minister spoke about export, and you know, he mentioned briefly crime, and I'm not going to talk about crime, but what I want to always come back to is that I grew up, at my age now, we lived through decades, different administrations, and different experiences in Jamaica. And I've been hearing about export for as long as I've been hearing about crime. I want to give you some hope tonight, today. I remember when I ran the electoral system, no one believed it could be transformed. One of my favorite interviews was I listened after an interview, and there's this guy saying, boy, I really love to hear that guy talk. That was me. Can really sound like him believe what I'm talking about. You know, and this guy was always humoring me, because he said, this man really think this is going to change? And we just had an election, and no one was talking about political violence. No one. I promise you, if we stay on this track, led by this minister, we will not be talking about exports as if it's something we are looking forward to achieving. In the same way we can reform an electoral system, in the same way we can move away from political violence, is the same way we can move to an export-led economy. It can happen. It can happen. I know he believes it. I believe it. I know Hugh Blake believes it. I know the team at the Trade Board believe it, and we're going to work assiduously to ensure that in our time, we are able to put up the numbers that we no longer speak about with cynicism. We speak about it as something we have achieved. Right? Yeah, yes, age. And not quite Joe Biden there, but you know. So we look forward to the work, Minister. And we're going to, with the Export Academy, I know, which is dear to Hugh Blake's heart and your heart, and it's going to give people the tools. You know, I grew up in a business family. You know, most of you might know about me, but I'm the fourth generation of Walker, who has come from Kingston, and they're all business people. So that's my North Star, not the public sector, but to be in business. But I've always found the certainty of business and working for someone helps when you have a family. But I'll say this, if we can business, and I heard the minister talk about large companies working with small companies. He told a story about a bank investing in someone and that company growing. Yes, you can get a loan, but this is more nascent than that. Those are not the stories I was raised on as a child, as the son of a businessman and the grandson of a businessman. And in my parents' lifetime, they tell me about when the Mattelans rode bicycle and used to sell brush to my grandfather in bakery and borrow money from them to pay their payroll. But family, and people working together is important. Extremely important. Is a way forward to wealth. I could stay up here and talk forever on how the income disparity comes to be, not just here. It's important that we reach out. I wrote a note to the PS, which I hope she shares with the minister. Because what the minister is saying about large business helping small business is important about government too. It's important about government too. Government must have a policy that pays small business people faster. Many small business people, myself included, would afraid to the business and government. Yes, you know you're going to get paid, but when it is the ethos of how we look at doing business with government. And I want to bring that to attention of the minister because it is not a rumor, it's true. Right? I could have a string of people here to tell you their stories. You're going to get paid, but when? And that paradigm needs to change. It needs to be that the small business of Jamaica fight to the business with the government of Jamaica because they know they're going to get paid and they're going to get paid quickly. Right? So, vote of thanks. Let's try and get back to that. I want to thank you all for coming. Thank you, Minister, for your leadership. Thank you for your leadership. I believe in leadership. It makes a difference in the world. Leadership is everything. And you and I, with our army backgrounds, him way more than me. I was just like a reserve officer, you know, but I served in the 1980 election. And we look at that as like our Vietnam. Right? So I don't really care anybody else want to tell me about their Sandhurst and whatever. Right? I know where I was. and so, you know, we are thankful for you to come out. This program will be successful if it's used. There's no point in doing this just for coding and that Jason can smile. No. We want it used. We want it to go online. Jason, where is he? I don't see him. Right? Here you go. I don't want to hear that it... Yeah, man. And the whole team, I call. Boss. That's some boss. Right? Everything will do well. And then everybody log on and hear say crash. I don't want to hear that, you know. I had to live through it with customs and Asecuda. Right? And I was even at customs when it was happening, I sit there crying because I'm not there to react the way people know me to react. Right? I don't want to hear about the system. Make sure it's robust. Anticipate the success, please, and get ready for it. Right? And everybody in here is charged with the mission of making sure that Jamaica know we don't want no more best kept secrets. You can put in another little thing after that. We don't want no more of that. We want this used, and we want to look back and say, boy, we are a part of that. I was on that team. All right? Thank you for coming. God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Mr. Walker. So as we draw the curtains on this very momentous occasion, I must thank our participants who are here physically and our participants online for joining us. Thank you all for being here today, sharing in the excitement and in the anticipation surrounding Export Jamaica. Remember, Export Jamaica can be accessed at www.tradeboard.gov.jm/Export Jamaica. Feel free to continue the conversation with us online or via any of our social media platforms or via email. We're here to help and we're here to assist with navigating Export Jamaica. I am Roshane Reed. It was an absolute pleasure being your host. It was an absolute pleasure being a part of this event. Walk good and export Jamaica.